this video, we're going to talk about some instances where cops got owned by educated citizens. Let's get right to it. This man was filming on a sidewalk when a female cop spoke to him and asked him if she could help him with something.
Sir, can I help you?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you know this person?
Since you're making contact with me, could you...
He wasn't comfortable talking to her, so he asked about her name and badge number. She said her name, but ignored the question about her badge number. Instead, she asked the man why he was here and told him that he's not allowed to be near their traffic stop.
I don't even know why you're here right now.
I asked you a direct question. Do you have your badge number on
And
you?
I asked you to leave because right now you're not allowed to be on our traffic.
When he threatened to file a complaint, she had no other choice but to reveal her badge number. She still complained about the man being near her traffic stop, even though it's clear that he's at an appropriate distance. Then another cop showed up and asked the man to step away. If that wasn't enough already, a third cop showed up and he explained to the man that they have no problem with him filming as long as it's from an appropriate distance. When the man asked him to remember what the Supreme Court ruled regarding the distance, he got defensive and started lying. The man didn't want to bother with this ignorant cop anymore and he wished him a good day. Oh boy, you're gonna love this one. The cop, who is bothering this man for no reason at all, is so full of himself that it's funny. It's comical. He has a problem with this man being in a police parking lot and points to the sign that says police vehicle parking only.
This says that it's police vehicle parking only.
I'm glad you can read.
So what's the problem?
You're not allowed back here.
The man then literally spells it out for the cop, and he emphasizes the fact that he's not in his car. Now, you would expect that the cop would be a professional about it, but nope, not this guy. He makes fun of this man, ironically saying that he's glad that he can read. He even mocks the man by asking him if he's with the FBI or, get this, even involved with the James Bond kind of stuff. And just when you thought that the cop couldn't get any more ridiculous than this, he starts singing some tunes.
I can't get in the details.
Oh, okay. Top secret FBI stuff?
Yeah, no, they didn't say that.
James Bond kind of stuff?
No, that's apparently you guys.
You really can't make this stuff up. Anyway, they go on and on about what the sign says and what it means. The guy keeps lecturing this arrogant cop for a while, and in the end, after realizing that he's not right, the cop just leaves the scene, probably regretting ever talking to this guy. This is a prime example of cops taking the bait and being completely pwned and destroyed because of it. So these people were just live streaming when this cop approached them and asked for one man's ID. The man refused to give it to him because he didn't commit any crime.
Why me?
Have your license? Or any identification?
No.
Huh?
We don't ID unless we committed a crime. You know, 148.G, you know, are you familiar with that?
The cop knows this as well, but he's still bothering these people. We later learned that the guy was filming the cop on purpose just to get his reaction. He was hoping that he was going to take the bait, and he sure did.
He's a minor, so he's my son, yeah.
Oh, so where's your ID?
I don't need one.
You don't need one?
No, I don't need one. Yeah. What crime?
In the end, the man explained the situation to someone on the phone, and when the cop realized that that someone is a lawyer, he quickly left the scene. So this guy was just walking, filming things, and breathing quite heavily, I might add, when a police officer stopped him and told him that people complained about him filming near police department parking lots. He was also wondering if he was filming the attorney's cars where they have the reasonable expectation of privacy.
Okay. Are you looking into some of the Commonwealth attorneys' cars and things like that?
I'm just
Places where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy?
But the guy knows the law, and he reminded the cops that there's no reasonable expectation of privacy in public. He also reminded the cop that the police as well are using that to their advantage. What an absolute savage this guy is. The cop knew by this point that he was messing with the wrong guy, but he still asked for his ID and name, which the man refused to tell.
Absolutely not. Do you have your ID on you?
no, sir, I don't have an ID on me.
You don't have an ID on you?
No, sir.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm not giving my name.
The man then went on to lecture the cop on the plain view doctrine that says that anything that can be viewed from public is recordable and filmable. The cop didn't want to give up despite being humiliated and accused the man of trespassing and filming on private property. The man then asked them to show him the private property or restricted area sign. They kept arguing for a while, and when the man reminded the cop once again about the plain view doctrine, the cop asked him if he was an attorney. The man then continued to lecture him some more until the cop gave up. So this guy was just standing near the crime scene when a police officer approached him and commanded him to step away in a rather aggressive and arrogant tone.
All the way back to the corner, yes. No, I think you're not fine. I think you need to sit. You can film all you want, but you need to sit back over there.
When the man asked for his name and badge number, he obliged, of course, but he kept acting rather aggressively, demanding that the man go all the way to the corner. The man listened and did as he asked, but the cop wasn't content with that and commanded him to go further. The other guy then completely lost it and told the cop to just do his job. The cop finally gave up and returned to the crime scene. If you thought the last cop was hostile, just check out this one. A guy was just filming the police from a safe distance when a cop showed up and got angry with the guy because, according to him, he was standing too close to his scene.
Property right now, you don't tell me nothing.
No, you're in the middle of my scene is what you are.
Your scene is done. Your dude's
No,
in the
it's not
truck.
done.
Yes, it is.
I say when it's done, not you.
When the guy told him that he was live streaming, the cop was still arguing, but he backed away. The guy reminded him of the First Amendment, public property, and the fact that there are no rules on distance.
Yeah, I know the rules, homie. I know what I'm doing. There's no distance. There's no rules. I'm sure our board, yeah.
The guy then revealed that the cop refused to identify himself. He kept lecturing multiple police officers for the rest of the video, and at one point, the one with the attitude tried to blind the camera. As you can imagine, that didn't work. So this guy was just filming near the police department and politely asked one of the police officers to state her name and badge number. She complied, but then asked the man to get his hand out of his pocket. When he refused to do so, she tried to check it herself. He didn't allow her to do that either and said that he doesn't consent to any searches and seizures.
Can you check them? Because I don't know what
You cannot just check me. You can't
Sir?
do that. You can't go in my
Sir?
pockets. I don't consent to searches or seizures.
The guy then reminded her that it's not against the law to keep his hand in his pocket. When that female officer stepped out, the guy approached the sergeant, hoping that he was going to settle the matter. He did the complete opposite thing, and instead of trying to de-escalate things, he escalated them with his arrogant tone.
I took my hand out of my pocket and then I put my hand back in my pocket.
If you want to put it back in your pocket,
that makes no sense.
Outside of your pocket to make sure there's nothing
When
in
he
there.
got back to that female officer who started this whole thing, she had nothing to say other than, "Okay, sir." In the end, the man mocked her request and told the other officer to keep her hands out of her pockets and pointed out how ridiculous that sounds. A guy was just walking and filming around the Birmingham police parking lot when a cop approached him and asked him if he could help him. The cop had a problem with this guy being there and told him to get off their property. The guy then asked if it really was their property, but the cop kept asking him if he could help him. Then, in a hilarious turn of events, the guy asked him if he takes orders and actually ordered a Big Mac and fries. The cop didn't react to that and asked the guy for his ID. When the guy refused to give it to him, he called his supervisor.
Lunchtime. Give me a Big Mac and fries.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm not telling you that.
Okay. Well,
While they were waiting for the supervisor, the guy tried to explain to this ignorant cop that this is public property. At one point, the cop actually admitted that, but he still thought he was being right. He clearly didn't know what he was saying anymore. One thing is certain though, this cop was completely humiliated by an educated citizen.